Right, we'll just give this a few seconds as usual to settle down, and then the fun will begin. Right, hello and welcome to an impromptu live session with me, Crafty Simulations, and the Black Square Duke, of which featured in a previous video. However, this one is slightly different because we're flying the smaller Duke. We had the Grand Duke last time, now we've got the smaller Duke. Still piston power. But today's going to be different because we're actually going to go on a flight. We're actually going to go from Humberside here and we're going to fly up north to Newcastle. Not quite sure why I chose Newcastle, if I'm honest, but hey ho, I'm here. So, let's get everything set up. So I'm hoping that everything has gone well. I started the computer up and a million updates suddenly turned up, which is annoying. And then I'm setting up the flight route and all that, and that's causing chaos. So I'm hoping the GTN 750 is going to work with the chosen route we have. I've been here so long, my coffee's got cold. Right, so let's clear these things. We don't need those. Let's check we've got the right amount of fuel. Payload, yeah, 60. We'll put external power on. I usually find the external powers just an assistance to start the aircraft. Sometimes the aircraft does not like to start as cleanly, but hopefully with some with the start cart, which is just underneath our left engine nacelle, hopefully we will be set and ready to start. So this is our route today. Took me a while to program this, and I was using Simbrief to do it, but we will be going up north over the centre of the UK and then moving off out to the right hand side to our run-in into runway 25 at Newcastle Airport. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. If this actually works, it'll be a miracle. I don't usually go in for this flight planning and all that, but hey ho. So let's go back to this. Let's have the checklist up. Yeah, we're not going to do the pre-flight checks, we'll do the before start engine checks. Right, let's get rid of this. Right, so we need beacon lights on, battery on. Check. Who is the old electricity in this thing? I'll do. That. Fuel quantities have been checked already. Cowl flaps are fully open. And they are. No sound. Annunciator panel. Checked. Left boost pump on. We can hear audio. Off. Right boost pump on. We can hear some audio, and we're off. Tick, 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 and tick. Right, do a cold start. Temperature's warm, but not exactly too warm. So we're going to start off on, we're going to pay attention to the way this is. So we're going to pre-oiler on for 30 seconds. Checking for the oil temperature there. So just let ourselves go for 30 seconds. Hope you're enjoying the video with the Duke, because we've done the previous video with it. I'm enjoying it. The Duke's really good. It's now standard for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, as a lot of the Black Square aircraft are. Which is great. We don't have to just use a 2020 version. Right, oil pressure has been checked. Right, mixture coming up to full rich. Propeller, right. Up to high, tick, tick. Throttle, fully open. Right, boost pump. On for 5 to 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Set for start. Half an inch. We are clear on the right side. And we have a good start. Looking for 1,000 RPM. Which we have. Right, generator coming on. Right, boost pump is off. Correct. Generator, load, bus, engines, battery temperature is fine. Pre-oil up the left side. Right, starting on the left side. I do love an aircraft with a lot of checklists. Like I said before, it's a very, very advanced aircraft, this, in the fact of there's a lot of things you have to look at. It is fairly simple. I must admit, once you get the flow, if you know general aviation aircraft, it is quite an easy-ish aircraft to get going with. Right. Free oils on for 30 seconds, left oil pressure checked, left mixture coming up to full. Propeller, throttle, left boost pump. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Boost pump off. Throttle pull back. And we are clear on the left side. And we have a good start. Done. Left starter checked. T's and P's are good. Left generator is now coming on. Main inverters. And pre-oiler is now coming off. Right, so we can get rid of that. Let's hope now the route has actually come through. Right, so let's go transponder. Squawking 7,000 will score for altitude holding. That's correct. Navmap can come on. Auto heat. Pull that back a bit. Showing 58 degrees in the back. Now I did say about the pressurization control system here. It is fully modelled. We will be flying up to a height of about 8,000 feet for our flight today to Newcastle, and this basically allows us from sea level to about 10,000 feet without having to change the pressurization. So it is, like I say, it's fully working, but for today's flight and purposes we will not be needing it. Pitch trim can now come on. altimeter. We'll set our initial climb for 5,000. We'll be climbing, like I say, for 8,000 for the top of the route, top of the flight. Our weather radar into test. Now time to get Trackir up and running. Let's hope that's working. Stand for approach. Have this back now. So T's and P's are looking good. Sure, my Trackir was looking in the wrong direction. Have to sort something out. Oh, joys of Trackir. Moving the throttle unit, and I managed to do that as well. You don't get this on a live on a normal pre-recorded video. Right, so let's get back into the flow of things. Right, so taxi lights are now come on. Parking brake's coming off. Actually, always keep forgetting this. Yes, just checking the external power has been disconnected. I think it actually disconnects itself once you get an engine up and running. So let's get to Newcastle. Coming off, landing lights are coming on, strobe lights are on, beacon and recognition lights are on. We're not going to need any heating on, fuel pumps coming on. We're walking correctly. I believe we are ready to rock and roll. Goodbye, Humberside. Hello, Newcastle. This aircraft is an absolute joy to fly. Press the brakes, gears coming up. Gears travelling. Flaps coming up. Feet. Beautiful day here in the simulator. 2,000 feet passing for 5,000. A little bit of cloud cover ahead of us. T's and B's are good. Fuel flow's looking good. The only thing that's missing is the coffee supply, which has run dry. climbing up, selecting our desired altitude 8,000 feet for today's flight. Off our cowl flaps. Cowl flaps are shut. So I was trying to use for the first time Beyond ATC. I've used it before on 2020, haven't used it that much on 2024. I don't know whether it actually works, on perfectly honest. It didn't actually, for some reason, want to work. But I managed to get my Simbrief routing sorted for today's flight. I think now that Black Square started to release updates for a lot of their aircraft to run natively in 2024, I think it really does open up the question of what is the best aircraft here in the certain classifications here in the sim, because I mean everyone seems to think that A2A, and correctly so, A2A are a really good manufacturer or producer, even developer of aircraft for their two aircraft they have in the sim now. But Black Square, I think, are pretty much on par with A2A. And the great thing is they have a multitude of different aircraft. Whereas A2A, back in the FSX and FS 2004 days, used to release Cessnas and Warbirds and Pipers and I think it was a B-29. Was it a B-29? I can't remember. Connie? I can't remember. They're a vast collection of aircraft. Now only have, well, I say only, I mean the Aerostar is absolutely fantastic. It's not been released yet, it's not version 1, but it is a really, really good aircraft. I've really got to bring that back into the channel because there's been quite a few updates. We've now even got the paint kit for it, so there's now starting to be users developing their own paint kit, own repaints for the Aerostar, which I think was one of the biggest things that were missing at the time. I didn't expect it due to the fact it being a pre-version 1 version of the aircraft, but it's nice now to have a unique paint for a very, very good and very, very unique aircraft in the sim. didn't get today's flight routing, we will be departing out of runway 20 at Humberside, of which we've just done. Currently heading off towards Goals, up to Batley, then to Rimto, then moving up to Gokov, Irkvor, moving off to XR DRU. That doesn't even make a word for me. And Etsy's, and then we're moving over into the flight landing pattern or approach pattern. I can't think what they call it now. For Upmop, and that'll be bringing us into runway 25 for Newcastle Airport. So that's the plan. Weather should be good for today's flight. Don't have to worry about too many things. And as you can see, nice clear skies. We are probably skipping the tops of the clouds. There's a few clouds that are a little bit higher than us, but nothing too much. Nothing to worry about. T's and P's are all good. Pressurization, like I say, we don't have to worry about too much. This aircraft can go from sea level to 10,000 feet without having to change any of the pressurization settings. Obviously, like I say, it is fully modelled. Like most things in Black Square, everything you see here is fully modelled. I'm currently using the PMS GTN 750 and the 650. That is an extra add-on. It is not included with the Black Square aircraft, with the Duke, and I wholly recommend it. It brings a certain bit of 21st century into an aircraft that is quite old. It's not exactly G1000 setup, but it's not bad. Days like these that make me wonder why I didn't really, keep on using the flight simulator again and again and again, but it is such a relaxing hobby. I know 2024 has had quite a few issues, but they are starting to fix them, and the simulator now is 100% different from what it was when it first released, when I purchased it on the second day of release. And it had issues. I think we all can agree it definitely had issues. But now it looks absolutely night and day. Our Sentry 4 autopilot here, currently flying the aircraft. We're on the nav hold option, so hands off controls and sit back and go with the flow. really, we could talk about the latest bit of news that seems to be gathering a bit of pace in the flight simulator. The flight simulator service, and that would be the fact of the possibility of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming to PlayStation 5 and coming to PlayStation 5 before Christmas. I wonder what everyone thinks about this. I mean, I'm not knocking console users, not in the slightest. I used to be one. I used to sink a lot of time into console shooters. And I would really love to see what the consoles can do in projecting Flight Simulator 2024. I know a lot of, or a few of the subscribers I have the Microsoft Xbox versions of the sim, and it runs fine. There are the usual hiccups that we all seem to get, but one of the big things is the fact of extra aircraft that on PC are readily available. You know, you can purchase them directly off the developer themselves, or you can purchase them through e-vendors like Orbex. And there are limitations on the Microsoft versions of what people can actually get. Now, I can only assume that the same limitations, or different limitations, but limitations nevertheless, are still going to be here in regards to Flight Simulator 2024 on Sony. I just feel that there will be. I hope there isn't. I hope it has a... If it does happen, I mean, I haven't looked too much into it. I don't own a PS5. If it is going to happen, welcome aboard. Welcome to the Flight Simulator community. I hope it's a smooth transition over to, you know, getting the sim up and running on your PlayStation 5s. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the last PlayStation I had was a PS4, and I know the PS4 would never be able to handle a flight simulator like 2024, obviously, but I would never think that a console would be able to play a very detailed flight simulator. But nowadays, you know, a lot of the peripherals that I'm using, they're just basic USB connections, and they are designed to run on console as well as obviously on PC. I mean, I came from the vintage of flight simulators were all about PCs, but now it seems to be that they're available on all consoles. I mean, this is... I hope it's true. I genuinely do hope it's true. So, 2 miles away from the next turning, which will be Gorkov, or next waypoint. starting our run up north now. I'd say we're a little over halfway. So Newcastle Airport, where we're flying to, is the standard flight simulator scenery. I haven't added any new scenery for it. Absolutely devour a drink round about now, but there isn't really much service on this aircraft, would Trackir. So we'll have to wait till we get on the ground. Away from our next waypoint. It's relatively straight north run now before we enter the approach pattern for runway 25. Plenty of space at Newcastle, so we don't have to worry about runway length. Sort of get an idea of what it's sort of like to get into an airliner. I mean, I don't do airliners for flight sim, due to the fact of I find them quite boring, if I'm honest. Nothing against people that actually like them, but at the moment I'm currently sat on autopilot, twiddling my thumbs. Oh, 1:15 in the morning. Ouch. Welcome aboard. Yes, it was totally unexpected. I just had free time and thought, you know, something, I'm going to do a video. So, yeah, welcome aboard. We are currently just over halfway on our run up to Newcastle. Yeah, well over halfway now. Another couple of waypoints and then we'll be moving over to our up-mop approach pattern. Yeah, you might do. I think of the choice of going to sleep or listening to my lovely voice. Yeah, I'll be sleeping. But, yeah, we're not far away now. Thought I'd take out the Duke for another little run. I think we had the Grand Duke last time, last video. So now we've got the normal Duke. The Turbo Duke, or Turbine Duke, it will be fast approaching as well. Duke to Aerostar is such a difficult one because they're both incredibly well detailed. Even though the Aerostar's still not version 1 yet, it shows so much potential to being one of the greatest twin-engined aircraft here in a flight simulator. And what I call the onion logic, and the fact of so many layers to it. It's so detailed, it's so brilliant, and it goes to the nth degree of like differing sounds that you wouldn't really be that concerned with, but A2A have put them in there to give you that sense of realism. Now Black Square have had the Duke out for quite a while, and it's pretty much, I'm not going to say it's the same, but it's its own uniquely brilliant aircraft. Everything you see here is workable. The buttons and switches and levers all have their own sounds. They went to the degrees of the sounds for the gear, the bevel gear, whatever it is under the nacelle here, for the cowl flaps. I mean, you can't hear it when the engines are running, but it's there and just shows you the sense of realism. I guess the downside you would have for this particular aircraft is the price. It is over £50 in the UK. It does come on sale quite regular, but I think with the level of detail that's in this aircraft and couple it up with one of the GTN 750 options, it's a very, very, very good package. And if you get it with the turbo version, or turbine version, it's even better. So I would be hard pressed to pick either one of them. They're both that good. Mind you, that being said, I just realising I can't remember off the top of my head how much the A2A Aerostar is. It's not cheap either, so you can't really go and choose them on price. I think it is a little bit cheaper than this, but it's still, I think, a £40 plus product. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I mean, the Aerostar is a very unique aircraft in its own right, but then so's a Duke. You know, when you look at flight simulator terms, how many Dukes do we have in the flight sim? Well, we have three. We have this, the the Grand Duke, and we have the Turbo Duke. We don't have any other Dukes, so it's very unique. And the Aerostar is even more unique. There's only one Aerostar 600 in the sim. I think you're right. The Duke is one of those great aircraft that you can just sit at altitude with your autopilot set. You're doing an hour and a half's worth of flying, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And we're cruising along at 150 knots, 8,000 feet. The Duke does not give a monkeys to this. It just flies it, and quite happily. The autopilot set, everyone's happy. The Aerostar, I think, is a little bit more, I'm not going to use the word aerobatic, but it's certainly more manoeuvrable, and is, I think, more of a joy to fly a bit lower level and a bit more speedy. Exactly. I'm not bothered about the money myself either, because we all know that A2A are fantastic developers of aircraft. So if they're going to develop something and release it, it's going to be awesome. We know it is. Likewise with Black Square, they're releasing some absolutely fantastic aircraft, and you know that they're going to be good. I mean, it's obviously, they've got a bigger catalogue, and they have turboprops, and they have single-engined, and they have multi-engined propellers like these, piston power. Some quite unique aircraft. So their catalogue's a little bit bigger, but it is, yeah, it's, the money doesn't go into, and you know the money's going to the right place. It's going back to the developer to develop more aircraft, which are going to get better and better. Yes, the anti-icing system is really good. I mean, we don't need it today, but yeah, I've flown in very, very thick cloud last year, I think it was, in 2020. I was climbing up through the cloud, and the anti-icing gear was a lifesaver. I mean, I say lifesaver, I'm sat at a computer, but it was really, really good and very well done. I think the Aerostar's anti-icing system is being worked on, I think, if I remember correctly from one of the notes. Is that the Sky Van, Skybox? I can't remember what it was called. I have seen it, yes. I think it's a but ugly looking aircraft, but that's just the aircraft as general. But yeah, that's another one that looks really, really good and definitely has potential to be absolutely awesome. There is so many great general aviation aircraft. It's ridiculous when you've got so many aircraft, you just can't shake a stick at them the most. It's ridiculous how many there is. Yeah, you're right with it. Yeah, the pitot heat and prop ice. Yes, it probably doesn't have the boots on the wings there. I think it's just a different aircraft designed for a different, I want to say price point, maybe, and a different functionality. So anyway, we have started our descent, as you've just realised when I put my autopilot off and went climbing. So we're descending down for 6,000 feet. As we're slipping onto the approach. We'll be using, what was it called? Upsop. As our approach. We're going to carry on down about 4,000. The conditions are looking good. Got a little bit of cloud to go through, but nothing much. Got a good view of the ground. I can't wait for the Aerostar to be released version 1. I cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Can't be far away from being released. I think A2A themselves say that it's not far away. Usually like to let the autopilot get me down to 3,000 feet and then we will be ready. Yeah, they are like huge general aviation aircraft. I mean, I did look at the shorts. Sky, I'm sure it's a Sky Van, I can't remember what is it officially called. I did look at it. I may have to have another look at it. I'm weak when it comes to purchasing flight simulator products. Have you looked at the latest Carenado range? I mean, I know Carenado gets a bit of a slagging a few times with their products, but they're something good as well. Slipping in onto the final approach. Looks like we're going to have some cloud on our approach. Off on Alpha Light now. Lights are on, fuel pumps are on. Flaps coming down one stage. So gear down 3 green, flaps down, landing, fuel pumps are on, landing lights are on. I see another airplane down there. I swear to God, I don't know what's doing it. I really don't. Something's adding airplanes to my simulator. I know it sounds weird. So, flaps coming up. Landing lights are off, taxi lights are on. Fuel pumps coming off. I'd love to know where these aircraft keep popping up from. I'm sure I've got a program running that's causing injecting AI traffic in. I'm sure it is. Anyway, welcome to my world. I say I've been watching Coronados. Yeah, Coronado. I wouldn't put them on the same level as A2A or Black Square, but they're definitely up in their game. I'll give them that. I don't even know where I'm going to park this thing, if I'm perfectly honest. I think I'm going to park over here. I don't want to get in the way of that thing. Alright, parking brakes are set. Fuel pumps are off. Let's just pull back. Lights coming off. Beacon is on. Taxi lights are off. Medium inverters off. Masters off. Generators off. I turn off ground aircraft for the stupid vehicles. Yeah, I love those vehicles. They're nuts, they are. Off for the graphic settings, it's the dynamic settings. Yeah, I don't think it's those. I think what it is, I've got a funny feeling, because they're Jet 2 colours. That's not Flight Simulator colours. I'm thinking that, I was playing around with, what's it called? Beyond ATC. And I think that is injecting traffic in. Even though I've turned it off, it might have injected traffic. Not 100%, I have to look into that. Although we can have a look. Let's have a look. See if I know Flight Simulator, it does change things. Graphics, it's at the bottom. See low, off. Parked aircraft quantity, off. Aircraft traffic quantity low. Oh, I could do it like that. Okay. Maybe it is that. Maybe I just have it in the wrong thing. Yeah. Oh, hello. They've gone. Okay, so it might have been that. I don't know. Me and technology. And yes, the shorts are compatible. Thank you for that. I'm sure that's now just been added to my shopping list. Right. So, welcome to Newcastle Airport, where the time is, well, no difference really between what it was when we left Humberside. Yeah, I do like the Duke. I really do. And it's a very striking looking aircraft. It looks brilliant. I don't know, I'm still not sold on the turboprop version, but the piston version, yes. That is fantastic. That is awesome. Anyway, I will probably end this live video here. Thank you for... Yes, I'm sorry that, I disturbed you at 1:15 in the morning. But yeah, thank you for popping on and having a little chat. It's always good to have a chat with people. And I will probably see you guys and girls out there on the Flight Simulator skies in a future video very, very soon.